What's up? This is TheGameImpulse. It's Keith here. Here's Tyler. And today's a very special day. You know, it's February 20th, and this was Sony's big announcement that they were supposed to make. And yeah, I'm sorry to say that no, they did not announce the PS4. They've actually just another addition to the PS3. They've announced another version of the PS3. Now, obviously, I'm just joking.
Yeah, fuck you.
They did actually announce the PS4. I mean, we all kind of knew it, but in the back of my mind, I was always like, you know, what if they didn't? What if they just said, fuck it?
I was thinking,
here's a new controller. Because since, like, the most, like, vivid thing that was that they were talking about the controller. So here's a brand new controller. That's all you get. But we have some of the specs and whatnot down.
Yeah, so in case you missed it and you didn't see or hear the announcement or read anything about it, the PlayStation 4 will come with a built-in stereo camera type thing that
it's kind of
like the Kinect for the Xbox 360, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool that it's coming with the PlayStation 4. With the controller, they're keeping the DualShock controllers, the DualShock 4, but they made a bunch of changes. It has a move sensor on the back of it that will coordinate with the stereo camera type thing on the actual console. There's a share button, which if you have a 360, it's kind of like your guide button, but it does a whole lot more because you can creep on your friends. Now with this, it seems that the PlayStation 4 is becoming a lot more social friendly. Like there's a whole bunch more with social networking type stuff. You can like creep on your friends. You can take over your friend's fucking game. If you want to help them get some trophy, or that's what they're called.
Yeah, they're called
trophies, or you know, help them do something. You can do that without being with your friend or anything like that, or like actually playing with them. You can take over his shit, which is kind of weird, and I'm very interested in hearing how that's going to happen. But anyways, on to more of the technical stuff. There's a touchpad in between the face buttons on the controller, and the triggers are made better. They aren't like going in this way now, so your fingers won't slip off of them. The PlayStation 4 will have a low power mode where you can it's basically like a giant pause button. You can hit the low power mode, you can set your PlayStation 4 on low power mode, and you can pause it and you can go download other things. You can do a whole bunch of other stuff, and then you can just unpause it pretty much and hop right back into what you were doing. Like we were saying, the PlayStation 4 seems a lot more social stuff. With the camera, pretty much everything you do is recorded almost. You can record gameplay and just upload it somewhere. I think that's pretty cool. One thing though is that the console is not backwards compatible with PlayStation 3 disc or PlayStation 2 or anything, but their solution to this is having a cloud service from this company that they recently bought for like $380 million. And this cloud service will have basically the entire PlayStation catalog eventually that you can download. So basically they're getting rid of backwards compatibility and making it digital. Like you won't have you don't need to have the physical thing. I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, the only thing that I feel with that is like now, because like, you know, we have the cloud with Xbox, which doesn't cost anything. I mean, I have a couple things saved on the cloud because there's some games that I would like to have my save when I go to somebody else's house or something. But like because they're putting like everything on the cloud, that means the cloud's probably going to cost money. So that's like maybe like, you know, if they keep their online service free, like they did, like they did for the PS3, which maybe they'll just make the cloud cost money instead of it being like Xbox, where the cloud's free, but hey, everything your Xbox Live costs money. So
I would almost want them to do the Xbox Live type route though.
I mean, they
get a bunch of shit.
They are, but now it's like instead of you're not paying, you get, because now they have a source for like how they can get the money for, instead of because before, you know, they're not, since they're not making you pay for live, they can't, or for online services, they can't put that much in because they can't do much with it because they don't have the money. But now with the cloud, they can kind of use the money from that to make a nice online service. So maybe, you know, at least in terms of online, maybe the PS4 will actually compete with the Xbox.
We're not saying the cloud will cost money. That is not confirmed. It's just our speculation stuff. The only thing I have a problem with is that they did not show what the PlayStation 4 even looks like.
At least with the pictures
this
that we've
conference. We have no clue what it looks like. I wish they would have showed that. They're probably going to show it at E3. They're probably holding off for that. Anyways, I like everything they're doing now. I think it's very cool, but nothing is very groundbreaking. Like, I was talking to Keith about this when we were, you know, researching and being up to date with all this stuff. And he said that there's not much you really can do almost anymore besides like processing power, and that is kind of true. Almost everything's really been done. So I feel that the things they're doing are very, very cool, and I think a lot of people will enjoy them. It'll make the whole gaming experience with a PlayStation even better. But I feel like they're not giant leaps. They're just very nice leaps.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I also think that they were kind of keen to maybe put this out before the Xbox, because I mean, like, I know things with like the share button and things like that seems like something that, you know, I sit there and I'm like, you know, why isn't Microsoft? Why did Microsoft come up with that? That seems like natural. So it's kind of like, hey, we put this out. Hey, we came out with this first. This was our idea. So then maybe, and then also maybe, it might cause, this could be a marketing strategy. It might cause Microsoft to be like, oh shit, we need this. So then it's going to be even longer before we get an Xbox. So then the PS4, because the Wii U isn't doing shit right now.
Yeah.
The PS4 could go, you know, unopposed for like months. It could go out for, you know, if that's how it is, it could just, you know, and then just rule because it has like a year or so, or even just 6 months ahead of the Xbox. Who knows?
I do like how they're keeping the DualShock controller though, because
that was
when you play a PlayStation controller from the first PlayStation all the way up to the third, it just feels so nice. And yeah, the Xbox controller feels nice, but so does the PlayStation. I'm really glad that they kept that, and they just kind of are adding a lot to it and all this stuff. So
yeah,
that's pretty neat. Shit, I had something I was gonna say. I forget though. When it comes to like the processing power though, there's the graphics that have been shown in the few games that have been shown so far are just unbelievable. It has two teraflops, whatever the fuck that means, because we're not technical wizards over here. But basically, that's going to make the games run a lot better and look better and all this stuff like that.
It's also got 8 gigabytes of system memory built in. So I mean, like, yeah, you can there'll always be like with the new Xboxes, like the 4 gigabyte, and then you can get like, you know, 200. So I mean, so now it's like the base is 8, which is like, so, you know, but what is it? Does that mean? What, you know, that might just mean the games are bigger.
Yeah. The games could be bigger, they'll look better, they'll play better, they'll just be better.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
moving on to the games, the first thing before we get to actual like legitimate games that were announced, Sony really wants to do a free-to-play type thing with like more episodic gaming, like on a PC or something like that,
or maybe like a little bit more like Xbox. The arcade,
yeah,
like a little bit more of that kind of stuff.
So that's one thing that they're going to try to do. That kind of also, in a way, goes along with their whole social networking thing, getting a lot more game developers, younger game developers involved, and all this shit. But getting to the actual games, I think the biggest one is there's a new Killzone that's going to be coming out. It's called Killzone Shadowfall, and you know, there really wasn't much to see, but fuck, man, you know, the last 2 Killzones, they look very, very cool, and I just think one thing that'll just help PlayStation 4 is if this Killzone actually comes out at launch, Because when the PlayStation 3 was announced, they announced Killzone 2 as well, and Killzone 2 looked so fucking good when it got announced, but then it didn't come out at launch, and I think that kind of
hurt it.
In a way, hurt it. Like, yeah, they had Resistance Fall, man, but they had Killzone. You know, Killzone was established on the PlayStation 2. You know, that would have been cool. So that looks awesome. There's a game called Knack coming out.
Yeah, you don't know much about that. Well, it looks like, isn't that the game where it's like you're a goblin war? Or
yeah,
something?
it looks very cartoon-like.
Yeah, so I guess it's their, again, it's kind of their answer to some of the more campy-ish Xbox titles, because I mean, in a lot of terms, like a lot of the Xbox titles do get kind of weird like that. So I mean, so that's I mean, again, a lot of these there's not really much that they talked. They just said, hey, this game's coming out, and they didn't really say much for 'em. What else is there?
There's a racing game coming out called Drive Club that looks, the pictures they had look sexy. And I'm a racing fan, so that might be interesting. There's a game called The Witness coming out, and it's made by the guy who made Braid for the Xbox Live Arcade. So it's like a platformer, I think.
It looks like a platformer, like or like a puzzle game or something like that.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Another thingy coming out, that another Sony franchise that'll maybe be there at launch, is a new Infamous game called Infamous Second Son. So that's kind of neat. Kind of it's kind of nice that they're going to have another franchise there to help push the PlayStation 4 launch, because the games really decide how you feel about a console when you first buy it. If there's no good games, you're not going to really want to play or support that console anymore. So yeah, Capcom has some game called Deep Down coming out. Yeah,
Deep Down. That's actually, it's rumored to be a Dragon's Dogma sequel, because
or like the Monster Hunter.
Yeah, literally. But then the only reasoning that the article they found on the Game Informer website said that was because it has the same initials as Dragon's Dogma, and it looks kind of similar. Which I don't know if that's enough to kind of go and say, hey, it's a sequel. Because I mean, but yeah, there's Final Fantasy 15. So you know they just re-released, or are just about to re-release Final Fantasy 14. So it looks like they're going and they're making the new one, which will be coming out eventually. You can talk about the next one.
Bungie's project Destiny is going to be coming to the PlayStation 4. This isn't going to be at launch. Activision said that there's no way that this game's coming out in 2013. But this game, it's kind of interesting that Bungie is, now that they're not making Halo games, they're going cross-platform with this. And if any of you have not seen the trailer for this, or kind of like a trailer type thing, more of like a making of,
it's epic.
It looks very interesting. It kind of looks Halo-like in ways, but it looks very, very cool. So I'm excited for that game. That game looks awesome.
And then also they're kind of like releasing two games that are kind of already out now, that have been out for the 360 and maybe the PS3 for a little while. I'm not sure if these two games are out on the PS3, but they're releasing, Diablo 3, which I know a lot of people.
Diablo's only on the PC, I think. So I don't think it's on the PS3.
Okay.
So
they're releasing it for the PS4. So that's and then also Watch Dogs, which I know was released for the Xbox and maybe the PC, and I know at least that much. And so now they're releasing that for the PS4, which Watch Dogs was like, that was like supposedly one of the big new games at E3 last year. So that's
graphics look good.
So that's so I mean, like they're kind of, I feel like they're pulling out, like, for somebody, they're pulling out a lot of the stops with this. There's a lot of really big titles.
Yeah, a lot of really good titles coming out. The two that intrigue me the most is the Killzone and Infamous, though. Mostly the Killzone, but fuck, I was gonna say something. If they had like a new Jak and Daxter, I think everybody would cream their pants.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't know if they're ever going to make a new Jackie Jackson, although I want them to.
I mean, they just made a new Sly Cooper, which Sly Cooper kind of fell off the map for a couple of years, and they said that, so maybe they're...
Maybe.
But what's your thoughts on, just this whole PS4 deal in general?
First of all, before I get to that, supposedly the rumored price is $429 and $529. There'll be two different things.
Probably one's more memory.
So that's like only $80 less than the PlayStation 3, but with technology improving and getting better, I didn't expect it to be cheap, but it's a little steep though. So ask for it for Christmas, unless you have a really good job. But yeah, overall, I'm interested in this, and I might get a PlayStation 4. Maybe eventually, maybe for Christmas this year. I really don't know, but yeah, I might get one because it does look neat. I want to actually see games being played. I would like to see that, because that would just make things so much cooler. I mean, Sony has so many good franchises that even if you bought one at launch when there's really not that much, over time, like, you'll have some really excellent franchises that you can play. So I might get a PlayStation 4 because it does look neat, and it does look just like it'll be a very fun and nice console, a nice entertainment experience, a nice gaming experience, and really just adding new things to gaming that haven't really been done. So yeah, I'm interested. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess toward the later years of the PS3, I was always waiting for the PS4 because, like, I've always been sitting there like, I want to get a PS3, I want to get a PS3. And then this year they were like, oh, we're going to announce the PS4. I'm like, well, fuck, now I got to get a PS4. So I mean, honestly, I might still like get a PS3 because
they'll be cheap now.
Because they'll be cheap. And also, there's like only a couple of games I want to get for the PS3. Like I'll play some of the bigger, like I'll probably get like God of War and stuff like that. But then, like, I mean, I have very little experience with with most of the PS3, like big game, like Infamous. I think was one that came after the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Killzone, I know, started with the PS2, but that was before I got into like shooters and all that. So I never played Killzone. So it's like there's still really not that much pull for me to like I need to get this immediately. So I mean, like you said, I'll get one eventually, probably. But
there'll be a lot of pull once I see a new Ratchet and Clank and God of War and Uncharted and all these really good franchises eventually come out on it.
Yeah.
So because some Sony franchises really just have a place in my heart from the PlayStation 2, and I only played a few on the PlayStation 3. And like Keith said, I might get a PlayStation 3 now just catch up because it'll be cheap, but maybe I'll get a PlayStation 4.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Hopefully you watch this video.
Yeah.
But yeah, the PlayStation 4 is announced. It's coming holiday 2013, probably in November or something like that. So it'll be here before you know it. So if you're interested, let us know. Let us know what your thoughts on this. So
yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for the 19 of you that subscribed.
Woo!
The 380 something views that we've gotten. Yeah,
380.
Getting somewhere in life. And this year for gaming is going to be pretty awesome. So
right.
one of the biggest years ever. So thanks for watching. Much love. Bye.
Yep. Bye.